Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I would like to welcome you all to this year's Campus Pitch competition. We are so excited to be awarding three amazing teams and finalists their $5,000 grand prize for really some amazing initiatives and events that they have put together. To introduce myself, my name is Yoni Haberman. I am the Campus Affairs Manager at the World Jewish Congress. And on behalf of the World Jewish Congress and the Consulate General of Israel in New York, we are so excited to be joined today by all of you to be celebrating three amazing teams. To really get things started, I would love to kick it over to the Acting Consul General of Israel in New York, Israel Nitzan, to share some opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Yoni, and good morning. It is a great pleasure and privilege joining you today. Also, again this year, as we mark another successful campus speech. And although virtually, I wish we could gather in person to celebrate. Now it's more than 6 years of campus speech, the campus speech project, but I'm sure that we'll have anyway a meaningful event virtually as well. More than, as I said, we've been marking this for 6 years now, more than 6 years. This is such a wonderful initiative promoted together by the World Jewish Congress as well as with the Consul General of Israel in New York. Basically bringing young minds to find solutions to our world problems. It's very encouraging to see these young activists going beyond their textbooks, thinking outside of the box, and bringing creative energy to implement projects of dialogue, of advocacy and education that serve their communities, and especially these days. And today our communities face the threat of two pandemics. The first is the coronavirus, as Israel is in the process of actually in a very advanced stage of a successful vaccination drive that should serve not only Israel but should serve also the well-being of humanity. We share the lessons and the data collected throughout this vaccination drive with other countries as well as with the pharma companies in order to improve the effect of the vaccine and the distribution strategies implemented by other countries. So the idea behind it is not only to vaccinate, to make sure that people in Israel are vaccinated, but actually the way we can actually make a tikkun olam and promote and assist other countries in doing so. And I should mention also part of this, also Israeli academics as well as private sector tech and health tech companies cooperating in Israel and outside, both here in Israel and also here in the United States, in finding practical solutions to the needs of people today, and even to find cure to the effect of the pandemic on our health. The second pandemic, of course, is anti-Semitism, the age-old hatred of Jews that is rising its ugly head again. We must continue to work together to find a cure to these threats to the body and to the soul of our communities. History teaches us that those who hate cannot stifle the Jewish mind and our traditional values of education, collaboration, and also tikkun olam, caring for one another. But in order to better fight anti-Semitism, we must learn to accept the definition of anti-Semitism. And I would like to point here the importance of the IRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition on anti-Semitism, that is a non-legally binding tool endorsed by the international community, including by the governments of the United States and Israel, that was basically that should be accepted also by our educational systems and institutions, as well as political and community leadership. We will continue to work together in fighting anti-Semitism and hatred on campuses and throughout our communities. The Jewish community, the Jewish people have long been the victims of racism and discrimination. And therefore, we have to come also to the aid of others facing such issues. It is now time for us to find ways to build the relationships and form partnerships against such hatred. We must bring this positive and creative energy, as we can see it here on campus pitch, to the forefront of our thinkers and shakers to forge a better society where we will all benefit from the fruits of our labor. I want to congratulate our winners, Deborah Cooper-Smith and Sruli Fruchter of Yeshiva University, Laika Torkishvili of Bennington College, and Karen Shalev of Worcester State University for winning this campus speech and for generating solutions to the problems of our community that our community faces today, but not only today, also tomorrow and in the future. I think that the spirit of innovation and creativity shown here by our winners here today gives us hope that minds like theirs will multiply by inspiring others and lead the way for future leaders as well. So I want to thank you again, and I want to congratulate again the winners, and I'm looking forward to a very interesting and exciting event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Consul General Nitzan. Really, for those of you who may not know, the Campus Pitch Competition, which we've said is now in its 6th year, has attracted students from around the world to present new and innovative ideas that positively impact Jewish life and the pro-Israel communities on their university campuses. Of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic this year, we had to take a slightly different approach, where in past years we've been able to meet in person and judge the finalists and decide the winners in person. This year we have already chosen the winners. We've out of dozens of teams that have applied, all with really amazing ideas on how to unite their communities amidst this really difficult time. And even amidst the physical distance that we must have between one another, the ideas really were inspiring and motivating. From so many students from all over. It was really hard to choose the winners, but we are so excited by what the winners have come up with, what we think that they will be able to accomplish. And I would love to give them each an opportunity to speak. I will be calling on each of the 3 teams now to give some short remarks. As a note, there is no first place, second place, or third place. They are all equal winners. The order in which they are presented is completely random, so it is not to be taken literally in any way, but they will each have some time now. So I would like to call up our very first winners and present them with their award, Deborah Cooper-Smith and Sruli Fruchter from Yeshiva University. Deborah and Sruli have come up with an amazing idea called Jewish Forum for Dialogue, which inspires and creates conversations on campus about difficult conversations that aren't typically had in a meaningful and productive way. They bring together people from all different backgrounds, from all different perspectives to have these conversations in a dialogue that not only impacts them, but the community at large. I would now like to turn the floor over to them to present on themselves and their idea. Go ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Yoni. First of all, Deborah and I, while the Jewish Forum for Dialogue is such a blessing to really have and to be able to bring that to our campus, we want to first just start with some thank yous to a lot of people who are not able to be here right now, but were so instrumental in JFD's development and its growth. Firstly, to Doctors Stephen Fine and Ronnie Perales from Yeshiva University of the YU Center for Israel Studies and the Rabbi Arthur Scheiner Program for International Affairs. Your guidance and advice and wisdom was really so instrumental in allowing us to formulate this and really implement it into our campus successfully. The World Jewish Congress, of course, myself as a Ronald S. Lauder Fellow, working with Yoni Hammerman, Deborah and I were really able to be very successful with JFD and allow it to come to our campus. Of course, to the YU students who have been participating and who have been involved with the Jewish Forum for Dialogue, it has been phenomenal to have these conversations, to have this discourse, and really engage with it in a meaningful and a high caliber discussion. And lastly, of course, thank you so much to Hashem, to God, for giving us this opportunity and the will and the wisdom and the just pure blessing to really bring this to our campus and bring this to the Jewish people. It really is so phenomenal, and we are endlessly grateful. There's this beautiful idea by Rabbi Abraham Isaac HaKohen Kook, where he says that building truth is like building a house in that it's not all built from one part, right? There's this famous saying in the Talmud that Torah scholars bring peace to the world. And if you've ever been to a center where people are learning Torah, you always see that there's a lot of machloket, there's a lot of debate. So it's counterproductive. How can they be bringing peace when there's so much argument? But ultimately, Rav Kook says that when we have more opinions, when we have this discourse, this dialogue, where we can say, I have my opinion, you have yours, but I value, I respect, and I love your opinion, and I see where you're coming from, and I see what's important there, we ultimately bring a greater truth to the world. We allow ourselves to walk together as a more unified, direction-focused Am Yisrael. And the Jewish Forum for Dialogue is an apolitical, bipartisan, and student-led think tank that seeks to do just that. We assemble a working group of students to tackle different questions, to tackle about the question of what is Zionism today, Jews and social justice, what vision do we see for Israelis and Palestinians, and trying to have these conversations in a meaningful, high caliber and informed way. And it really is so phenomenal to be able to not look towards experts or the chiefs or people who are leading these fights, but to turn to students, to empower our own voices, to have our own opinions. And at that point say that I'm able to learn about this and my opinion is valuable. And it's only when we do this that we really can walk together, that we can walk more forward and see where Am Yisrael needs to go. And if we really believe, as WJC so proudly expresses and manifests in its work, that Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Bazeh, then this is exactly what we need to be doing. We need to be having these conversations and be empowering young Jewish voices to take this on. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Deborah to kind of speak a little bit more about what the Jewish Forum for Dialogue does and our mission.
So we structured the JFD to be a space where Jewish students feel informed and empowered to tackle these important conversations. So to give you a little more concrete information about how we do this, I'll quickly run through a seminar with all of you. So each seminar is about 3 to 4 weeks on a pressing topic relating to world Jewry. Our past seminar was focused on Zionism, and our current one is about social justice. There are 4 important sessions that take place. First is the opening session. Here are where the participants meet each other for the first time, and together we discuss what it means to have a respectful and conducive conversation despite differing opinions. At the end of this session, we hand out a resource packet that features articles, podcasts, and videos pertaining to the topic and range across the political and religious spectrum. Then we have the perspectives panel. 3 experts in our seminar's topic come in and share their thoughts and answer participants' questions. Then the third session, which is the mock dialogue. Here we stage a short debate to prepare the participants for the last event. And finally, we have the dialogue forum. This is where everything comes together as the participants engage in a fiery yet respectful debate and exchange of ideas. This is the session that is open to public viewing. Our overall goal is to expose the participants to a wide array of perspectives in order for them to figure out what they stand for and believe in. By sharing ideas and viewpoints, our participants grow, learn, and gain the confidence to share their voice. Ceruli and I would like to thank the Campus Pitch Committee for believing in our mission and giving us the support to continue forging forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ceruli and Deborah. Congratulations again on your amazing Campus Pitch initiative, and best of luck in bringing Jewish Forum for Dialogue to amazing levels of success in the future. I would now like to call upon and congratulate our next winner, who is unfortunately unable to join us today. So she has sent in a message to share with us all. Karen Shalev from Worcester State University.
Hello, my name is Karen Shalev. I am a student at Worcester State University in Massachusetts, USA, where some of what I do on campus includes being the co-founder and president of Chabad on Campus, our school's only Jewish organization, and the Stand With Us Emerson Fellow at Worcester State. To say that I am honored to be a winner of the campus pitch competition is an understatement. As a granddaughter of Holocaust survivors who found refuge in Israel and raised their families there, Israel is an incredibly important part of my life. I lived through Tzuk Eitan in 2014 and then the stabbing intifada in 2015. What worried me most were not the bombs or the knives. It was the misinformation I saw running rampant on social media that has only gotten worse. One of the most prevalent ways misinformation appears on my campus is by erasing the true nature of Israel, both intentionally and unintentionally. Israel is a country where Jews from around the world found refuge, and that gives equal rights to each of its citizens. Shattering glass ceilings works to fight misinformation by shedding light on the true nature of Israel's diversity. This event features an art gallery-like exhibit showcasing Israelis from every sphere of life and background and how they shattered a glass ceiling. It then invites participants to take an active part in the exhibit by sharing how they will shatter their own glass ceiling while standing in a structure with a glass ceiling. This event takes COVID precautions into account and, most importantly, is accessible to all. Shattering glass ceilings allows participants to introduce nuance into conversations about Israel, so they think twice the next time they see a shiny post on Instagram full of one-sided pseudo-facts. Toda rabah to the World Jewish Congress and the Consulate General of Israel in New York for giving me the support and backing to put on this one-of-a-kind program.
Congratulations, Karen. We are so excited to be working with you and to see your project take off as well and really shatter some glass ceilings. I would now like to present our third winner, Lika Torkashvili from Bennington College in Vermont. Lika's idea, Peace in Our Schools, is one of a kind and a unique and amazing approach at working on creating interfaith dialogue. I would like to turn it over to her now to present on herself and her idea and to share with us all.
Hi, everyone. Shalom, salam, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Lika Torkashvili. I'm from Tbilisi, Georgia. I'm currently studying at Bennington College, and I'm also founder of Paint the World youth organization, and together with Ramis Bakhtiar, a co-founder of iPeace and Global Alumni Network of UN Youth Delegates. Since this project is really close to my heart and it means a lot to me, it's not one-time kind of project, it's a lifetime project. I would like to tell you a little bit more about what was the inspiration and how the project came together, and also a little bit more about a colleague and a good friend from Afghanistan that is going to implement this project together with me. So it happened that since very young age, I've been studying in international communities, and some of my closest friends were Muslims from different countries. My best friend and colleague at Paint the World, Aziza is a Muslim from Malaysia, and we met at UWC Atlantic College. And since then, we've been painting the world together and doing amazing, interesting projects for young people all over the world. That's when I realized that our religious differences should not create boundaries or cause issues or problems, but they should, on the contrary, bring us all together for a better world and for a better future. So I've been kind of growing up with that ideology, and then again, so it happened that a really good friend and a colleague, a fellow UN youth delegate of Afghanistan, was Ramesh Bakhtiar, and we started brainstorming and collaborating on SDG 16, which is peace, and we decided to accelerate our UN youth delegate work with future projects related to peace and bringing young people from countries in conflict together. That's how iPeace organization was born, and that's how our new idea was born, which is called Peace in Our Schools. Because together we realized that we can talk about anti-Semitism, we can talk about racism, we can talk about all the other hate-related issues that we have in this world, unfortunately, but the actual way to combat all these issues and the actual way to eradicate all these issues is to teach. That's where everything starts. Everything starts at a very young age, when children are first told that you should hate someone who doesn't think like you. You should hate someone based on their religion. That you should hate someone because they're different. So Ramiz and I decided to take on this very difficult job of coming up with workshops for young people in Afghanistan and Georgia, Muslims, Jews, and Christians, to teach them about peace building, teach them about conflict resolution, teach them what dialogue is, and really bring them together. Why this is different or unique? Because I think this will be the first time that our friends in Afghanistan will be taught or talked to about anti-Semitism and about other issues that are not really talked about probably in Afghanistan. So it's a very unique and new country that we're going to be working with. And I'm really excited for this work. And as I mentioned, this is not a one-time project. And in the future, we hope to expand our organization and expand the scope of our work and have more young people, just like Ramiz and myself, Jews, Muslims, Christians, all religions, all races, all backgrounds, help us to deliver this message of peace amongst the religions. And I'd also like to emphasize that I think it's one of not many organizations that has a Jew and a Muslim as founders. And I'm really proud of this, so is Ramiz, and we always try to emphasize this fact every time we get the chance to speak about the organization. And I would also like to thank my professors here at Bennington College, Susan Scarbati and Rabbi Michael Cohen, who have been supporting these ideas and helping develop the project, as well as teaching me a lot about peace building and about conflict resolution, and really inspiring to take the UN Youth Delegate work on a whole new level and actually turn all those ideas and thoughts about SDGs into action, and really try to change the world a little bit and make it a little bit better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lika, and congratulations again. This idea and all of the ideas are really going to do amazing work, whether it be promoting interfaith dialogue, building discourse and dialogue on campus, or shattering the glass ceilings, teaching people about what Israel is really like today, are all so important. So congratulations to you, Lika, and to all the winners. And to really close out the event and provide some remarks, I would like to call on Daniel Radomski, the World Jewish Congress Head of Strategy and Programs. So please, Daniel, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Yoni. And I'd like to start by thanking Israel Nitzan, Adva, Sophia, the entire team at the Israel Consulate General for their support, for their sponsorship in making this event a reality. And of course, my thanks goes also to the WJC Campus Affairs team led by Yoni, together with Sarah, Elisabetta, and Geneva, and Rochelle. Thank you guys, you're amazing. It's really very nice to see that even under these circumstances, we're here, unfortunately not in the same room, but we're here together to celebrate Campus Pitch and to congratulate 3 marvelous winners also this year. And this is the 6th annual Campus Pitch competition. So over 5 years, we really have had a line of winners that have impacted tens of thousands of lives of Jews and of non-Jews on campuses globally. And this is something that's really wonderful to see and wonderful that we continue. Now, we are never shy of challenges. And this year is no exception. We've had an unprecedented challenge this year, and we're really thrilled to see that even under these circumstances, students picked up the challenge, they were motivated, they were passionate to make their projects a reality, to present them to us, and we really had the privilege to speak to many of you. And unfortunately, there are only 3 winners, but we are very happy to be able to congratulate you today. And these are projects that will all work for the betterment of the Jewish community. Now, I had the privilege of having a discussion only last week with the Ronald S. Lauder Fellows, which is a fellowship that we have present on campuses worldwide. And we spoke about some of the feelings that students are experiencing in this period when they're in isolation, whether it's feelings of loneliness, whether it's feelings of being alone. And we discussed the difference, because when you're lonely, you feel that you lack purpose. But when you're alone, this is something where you can really be, a new concept that we're introducing this period is to be alone together. And that's sort of the silver lining, that you can work together with new peers. And we've seen it in these projects as well as in other projects. And you have the ability to actually, the world is the playground that we are addressing here. So you have the opportunity to also work together with some new and marvelous people. That's exactly the spirit of the World Jewish Congress, that there's more that unite us. And that's the feeling that we encourage. And this health crisis is an accelerator. This is what we've been seeing. If it's in healthcare, if it's in how we study, if it's where we work and live, that's how we should be seeing it. This is really an opportunity to see some of the positive trends that are being accelerated. Our president of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald S. Lauder, has often spoken about how this presents an opportunity for unity of purpose. There's more that unite us, Kol Israel Arvin Ze Lazeh, as Shuli correctly remarked, and we're all in this together. We're all equal. All our Zoom rectangles are the same size. And this is really how we should see it. We should see it as an opportunity to bridge, the opportunity to collaborate. And that's exactly the glowing example of the 3 winners that we have here today. Unfortunately, we also see these trends and accelerations when it comes to negative aspects. And again, we're here speaking about anti-Semitism 2021. And it's disheartening that we see that although there is a drop in physical attacks, mostly because of logistical reasons, and people are locked into their houses, there is trends of anti-Semitism on the rise, especially online. And the situation on campuses for Jews that wish to have a proud and open Jewish identity, and even a Zionist such, this is still problematic. And I can only go back to a personal example, my own alma mater, UCL in London, England. Israel Nitzan remarked upon the importance of the IRA definition, and there, of course, is where we have the student union, even on the eve of Holocaust Remembrance Day, debating whether to retract a previous adoption of the IRA definition, disregarding how that could have an effect, rather, on the lives of the Jewish students that is limited at this juncture. So, of course, there's much, much more that we need to do, and it only puts a further emphasis on the need for creative and innovative methods of outreach, as we've seen here today. And we need to have dialogue. We need to both apply hasbara skills, but also to apply akshava and havana, also to have understanding and to listen to others in order to define smart programs, which are the ones that we see here today in terms of how we can really move the needle and change the reality. And the 3 projects that we've heard about are opening new conversations, they're building community, and they're educating people. And that's exactly in the spirit of the World Jewish Congress. And we're very happy to congratulate them. And we're happy to work together with the winners to make their dreams a reality. You're really a light in what sometimes can be seen as a greater darkness. And we're happy to work together with you. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for those closing remarks. And to echo what he just said, congratulations again to the winners. We are very much looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you all for joining us today. On behalf of the World Jewish Congress, on behalf of the Consul General of Israel in New York, we are thrilled to have had you here. This concludes today's program, and feel free to be in touch. Have a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are. Thank you.